Call her Layim La, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah by Hashem Kakadash. Like I said, all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father in Hebrew. In the name of Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, which is the one they call Jesus Christ. I can do a video on the breakdowns and all that stuff, but that's the one they call Jesus Christ, Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. All right, and Rakah Kodash, that's the Holy Spirit. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started out of Ecclesiasticus Ben Sirach, chapter 2. All right, so and it reads, I want to start from verse 3, but I'm gonna start from the top. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." So when we come into this truth, when you come back to your true heritage, the Most High is in control of everything. So he on the right hand side, he's giving you this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And on the left hand side, which is Satan on that side. So if you ever read Job was tempted. I can't remember the total details of that story, but he was tempted because he was a good servant of the Lord. So when you come to serve the Lord, prepare yourself for temptation. All right. So then it says, verse 2, "Set thy heart aright and constantly endure." So it says constantly endure. So endure, when you endure, you can constantly suffer, long suffering. So like during the stuff that you're going through, you know what I'm saying, you might have a tough time, but ultimately at the end, you know what I'm saying, the results are going to be in your favor. Okay. All right. So, and it says, "And make not haste in time of trouble." So don't in a time of or just any time, just don't rush. You know, he know what you need, so wait patiently for it. Another word for patient is long suffering, which is enduring, what we just read. All right. So okay, so then in verse 3, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." So it says, "Cleave unto him and depart not away." So it's another Proverbs. Let me get it. Give me a second. Proverbs. All right, chapter 16, verse 21 says, is it 16, 21? No. All right, so the verse I'm thinking of, it said I'm gonna go back to Ecclesiasticus 2, and it says, where was I at? It says, "Cleave," this is Ecclesiasticus 2 and 3. It says, "Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." So it says, cleave onto him. So the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding goes back into the congregation of the dead. So if you stay in the way of the understanding, it says cleave unto him. That's synonymous with that part. And it says depart not away. So if you wander out of the way of understanding, then you wander out of the way of understanding, that's departing away from him. All right. And if you depart away, if you draw back, then his soul has no pleasure in you. I paraphrase those two verses. All right. So it says, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou is changed to a lower state." So it says, whatever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. So everything that everything that we go through, we gotta take it cheerfully. We always want to give thanks to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. So thank you, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. All right. So yeah, we want to take everything cheerfully. And it says be patient when you change to a lower state. So everybody has ups and downs. So whenever you change to a lower state, you gotta endure. You just gotta fight through it. You gotta stay in the word. All right. So verse 5, it says gold is tried in the fire. So with gold, you take gold, you melt it down into whatever you want to form it to, and you get it to actually the form that you want it. So same with acceptable men. It said, because it says for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So adversity is that lower state. I don't know the exact definition for adversity, but I know it's tough times, and when you're going through adversity, you want to persevere. All right. So yeah, acceptable men. An acceptable man is going to be tried in the furnace of adversity. All right. Verse 6, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Verse 7. Verse 7. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. So again, it says, wait for his mercy and go not aside. The same thing with verse 3. It says, depart not away. You wander out the way of understanding, and draw back. You go back to the congregation of the dead, or you draw back. His soul not going to have any pleasure in us if we do that. Okay. So then, verse 8. Ye that fear the Lord, believe in him, and your reward shall not fail. Verse 9. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. So those that fear the Lord hope for good. So the elect, or the elect don't know who they are. Everybody, you have a certain amount of people that are called to do the works, but ultimately, you don't know until they come in with that great wrath, like a flood. So you don't know until that moment. So we hope to be a part of that number. Those that you see out here bringing out the word. All right, those that you see nobody just decided to come out here. We were called, so we hoping for the best. You what's the old saying? You I can't even remember, but you expect the bad, but you hoping for good. All right. So that's kind of sort of what that is. All right. So verse 10, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So it was a video I made, and I referenced this, but I wasn't sure if it was a verse. So it says, if you look in the Bible, it says those that fear the Lord. If you just read through any stories, like it was a lot of people that feared the Lord, right? I haven't seen anywhere written where he just left them out high and dry. So those that fear the Lord, he looks out for, right? Verse 11. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in a time of affliction, which we got this great affliction coming up in Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30:7. All right. Verse 12. Woe to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. So it's a verse in Revelation talk about being lukewarm. You don't want to be going two ways. You want to pick a side. Another brother made a video. He said the Lord rather you be a wicked ass nigga out here doing whatever you do than to be lukewarm and be halfway that way and then be righteous at the same time. He wants you, because if you know what you're supposed to be doing, you can get punished for more than the person that didn't know. So he rather you choose a side. You can't be lukewarm in this thing. All right. Verse 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience, And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? So most of the time, people might lose patience. They might be like, man, like, is this thing really gonna happen? So they might draw back, they might fall out. So if they draw back and fall out, his soul has no pleasure in you. So therefore, you wander out of the way of understanding. So I mean, basically at that point, you most likely gonna be free ball game. Okay, so for that judgment. So then it says, oh, I skipped verse 13, so I'm gonna read it. It says, woe unto them that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. I ain't read the whole verse. So woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. So if you faint-hearted, you're not gonna be defended in this thing. All right. Verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. His ways are these precepts. The whole duty of man is to follow the precepts. All right. So verse 16. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts, which is their mind, humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not in the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy. All right. So, hold on. I had another something else I wanted to get to. Yeah. I had two things. I'm trying to say it. All right, so this is Isaiah 58:1. It says, cry aloud, spare not. So cry aloud, that means to basically talk as loud as you can, like as far as me, I can, talking to the best of my ability at this moment, but it says spare not. So spare not in that, it's talking about, okay, so matter of fact, I'm gonna read the whole verse. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and shew my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sin. So he said, cry aloud, spare not. Like, okay, so people got feelings. Fuck their feelings. We talking about this word. It's not. It's not our word. It's not our emotions. If we come out this book, and then it's the truth. And he said to show show our people, his people, their transgression, show them where they're going off at. Everybody goes off. Yeah. So yeah. Because if you don't do that, then if you see somebody going off, then ultimately, because this is a commandment. This is a command, says cry aloud, spare not. So don't care about their feelings. If you don't tell somebody what they're doing wrong, you just as guilty as they are. All right. So from there, I'm gonna go to I think it was Ezekiel. All right, so this is Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel chapter 37 says, the hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out into the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were many, very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord power, thou knowest. So he said, the Most High said, these bones, can they live? So that means they did. Okay, so the man that wanders out the way of understanding goes back into the congregation of the dead, which is the 2/3. So, yeah. He said, can these bones live? I answered, Lord power, that thou knowest. Again he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. So you can't really speak to no bones. You know, somebody might just pick this book up and be like, oh, he talking to some bones. Nah, like, you know, it's referring to a group of people. So he said, prophesy to these bones. To prophesy means to see or to say before. But yeah, oh ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. It's his book. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring upon you flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. So it says, lay sinews, definition of sinew, so it's bones. Sinews are tendons that connect the bones. Alright, so somewhere else in it, a little further into this chapter, it talks about gathering together. So them sinews is synonymous with the great awakening, the gathering together of that third temple, the third tabernacle, which is the house of David. It's gathering up together, quickened by the Spirit, to come back to their true heritage. So it says, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. So then it says, so I prophesied as I was commanded, and I prophesied there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. So they came together, they gathering up, they come back to their true heritage. And when I beheld, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. So the breath is synonymous with the Holy Spirit. They didn't have any understanding at that point. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army, the house of David, and the 1/3 as well. It says, then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dry, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. So they saying they don't have any understanding. They don't understand this book. It says the whole house of Israel. So yes, it's the 144,000 and the 1/3. I also wanted to grab because right now he talking, this is Ezekiel. He's saying he told Ezekiel to go and speak to the whole house of Israel. So basically I wanted to bring out this verse because he was fishing for men. And that's what the prophets of the Lord are. They're fishers of men. So this is, all right, yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. It says Mark 1:16. Now as he walked by the Sea of Galilee, he saw Simon and Andrew and his brother casting a net into the sea, for they were fishers. So they was actually fishermen by profession. Okay, so then you go to verse 17. And Yahushua said unto them, come ye after me, and I will make you to become fishers of men. They're fishing for the elect, and the bait is the Bible. Okay, this word. All right. Mark 1:18, and straightway they forsook their nets and followed him. So straightway means immediately. So it's a verse that says his sheep hear his voice and they follow him. So this is what they did. They knew that was the right thing to do. So they said, forget the nets. We're gonna follow Hamashiach Yahushua. And they follow him. So they and that's also symbolic because they put away their old lives. That was their profession. They put away that old man, and when they came into, they gave all they had to go and follow him, which is what we should be like. We should strive. We're not going to achieve perfection, but we should strive to be like that. Put away that old man. I know it's brothers that make videos about putting away that old man. So that should be our ultimate goal, and eventually we should be a totally new person, all right? So, Matthew 13, chapter 13 and verse 47. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net which was cast into a sea, and gathered of every kind. So the kingdom of heaven, which is this word, this truth, is compared to a net because you throw out the word, you make these videos and stuff, or you just talk, you just casting out the word, and when you cast out a net, it picks up the good fish as well as trash as well as bad fish. So you go to verse 48, which when it was full, they drew to the shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels. So they put the good fish into vessels to be saved for later because they was good. All right. And then it says, but cast the bad away. So they said, yeah, we're just gonna cast that back into the ocean or into the trash. But cast the bad. It says, yeah, but cast the bad away. So the word attracts people of all sorts, you know. But ultimately, the good is gonna be saved, which is the elect, and the bad is just gonna be cast back into the world. All right. Verse 49. So shall it be at the end of the world, which is likened unto the harvest, the wedding to meet the bridegroom, which is Hamashiach Yahushua. The end of the world. The angel shall come forth and sever the wicked from the just. So that sifter, they sifting out. Ultimately, it's the Most High, but they sifting out the good from the bad. And in the end, in that harvest, they're gonna take the good crops, the good seed, and save them, and beam them up. And then the missiles, they're gonna come down and just fuck everybody else up. And I didn't have a similar verse to that, but I'm gonna just go ahead and read this. It says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read." So anything you looking for, it's all before just reading the Bible, coming to the truth. I didn't really have a clue of what was in the Bible, but you pick the book up, man. Of course you gotta be taught, but everything in that book, you'll be surprised with. You'll be like, damn, like it's really something about everything in this book. Okay, so it says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail." So none of these is not going to happen. None of these prophecies is going to be void. All right. So everything that he says is going to come true, which is why I don't understand why some people don't believe some parts of the Bible. Anyway, that's another story. It says, "None shall want her mate, for my mouth hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them." Oh yeah, that's why I wanted to read this. So, the spirit gathered them. So that's almost the same as the net, bringing back the elect to their true heritage, as we was reading in Ezekiel 37. All right. It says, "None shall want her mate," because you go to, I mean, it's no book that can be compared to the Bible, really. I mean, these other religious texts and books and stuff, they take some stories from the Bible and put them into theirs to make it seem as if they made that story up. And as a matter of fact, some brothers made a video in the Quran that said, yeah, if you want to answer for this, go and check in the book. It wasn't talking about the Quran. It was referring to the Bible. All right. So the Bible has no mate. Okay. So another version said, "None shall want her mate." Oh, says no one should seek another mate. Yeah. So you shouldn't be looking for no other religious book. go ahead and finish off on Ezekiel 37. It says, then, this verse 11, then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dry, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Therefore, prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come up out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. And shall put my spirit in you, which is that breath, so they can live. And it says, ye shall live. I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I, the Lord, have spoken it and performed it, saith the Lord. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick, write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel and his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for the house of Israel his companions, and join them to another stick, into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. So you see that 12 tribes chart. Some people don't believe in that. So he said, take one stick with Judah and his companions, take the other stick with Ephraim and his companions. But it's not what's taught is referring to them, but Judah is in the southern kingdom, Ephraim is in the northern kingdom. So it says put both of those on one stick and join them together. How you join them together? You take a piece of paper and you make a sign. So that's that sign that people see different brothers with. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, wilt thou not shew us what thou meanest by this? So when people walk up to it, they'll be like, yeah, so what is this? Like, who are these people on this sign? So then it says, say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of his fellows, and will put them with him, even the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand, and the sticks whereon thou writest shall be in thine hand before their eyes, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord power, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, because they're scattered everywhere, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land, and I will make them one nation in the land of the mountains of Israel. And one, so it says land in the mountains of Israel. A mountain is a government. Sometimes it's likened to a government in these books. So it says the mountains of Israel. When all that occurs, Israel is going to be on the top. They're going to be on the top of the whole world. All the rest of the heathens under them. Okay, so from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. I will make them one nation in the land of the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of their dwelling places. So it says we're not going to go off anymore. Those that are saved are not going to go off anymore, because he's going to take them out of the dwelling places. And those dwelling places are these bodies that we have. They're not going to go off because we're going to have those new bodies. It says, and I will cleanse them, so they be my people, and I will be their power. And David my servant shall be king over them, and they all shall have one shepherd. They also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt. They shall dwell therein, even they and their children children forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them, and I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them yet. I will be their power, and they will be my people. They shall be my people, and the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. All right, yeah. So, see if I got something else. All right. My tab is acting up, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back to Ecclesiasticus. I wanted to get a verse on pride, but I'm gonna go back to this verse. All right, check Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. All right, so this is verse 17. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in His sight. So I wanted to get that verse because I want to talk about pride, and it's not in the man's the Most High didn't make us to be prideful. So we all have to humble ourselves in His sight, because we're all humble in this thing, because that candle can be blown out, as we read in Revelation chapter 2. So hopefully that was edifying. Call Halayim La, Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Hashem Kakadash. Double lines to the elders in the Apostle Great Mill song. Told me his truth rule well. Hopefully this was edifying. Shalom.